Y'all, so good news, I'm back. No, really, no one actually cares, but on the off chance that someone does, we're going to get to the point today and start the video instead of me ranting about it. And at the end, if you still care, we'll talk about where I've been, what I'm doing, and why I haven't been here. So today's video is going to be a little bit different than what I've done in the past. I am going to do a kind of tutorial on contouring 101, my view and opinions on it, and the way that I do it every day. When you're going to contour, there are some other things that you have to do, like lay a foundation. When you're doing a contour, you want to have a concealer that will start to highlight the points of your face, the highest points of your face. So what I've done is, like in other videos that I've done, I use a concealer that is a shade lighter than my face and put it in a V motion under here, right here at my forehead, a little bit on the bridge of my nose, on my Cupid's bow, and on my chin right here. When you're contouring, you are creating light and shadows to give your face structure. So I use this highlighter by MAC. It's called Accentuate, and it is pretty much just a stark white powder that they sell. I think it might be a pro powder on their site, but a ton of brands make stuff like this, and that's just going to help, first of all, make sure that you don't have any fine lines that settle and crease, because even if something that has something that's not creasing technology, it's going to crease if you don't use a powder. People are like, whoa, why is it, and I'm like, because you didn't set it, so stop. So these are my 3 favorite brushes that I've been using recently, right here. And obviously, the bigger the brush, the less intense it's going to be, because it's going to be more blown out and just a little bit more natural. Anyways, so first we have the Sigma Large Powder F20. And this you can use, like, especially in the summer, I'll use a more just like a bronzer, and just take it and really quickly go back and forth on the hollows of my cheeks and on the tops of my foreheads. And that just gives me a little bit of depth in my face without being too intense, because I'm usually not wearing a ton of makeup in the summer. So that's that option. These two, most of the time, like today, I will be using both of these, but you don't have to. You can pick one. This is the NARS Ida brush, nobody really knows. But this brush is very expensive. I'm pretty sure it's like $50. Let me assure you, I did not pay $50 for this brush. I went on eBay and got some weird Asian version that may not be real, but who cares, because it still works. Anyways, this is obviously going to be more intense because you're going to be able to make that like straight line and then go and blend it out, which I usually take this brush. This is actually a Sedona Lace brush. We are just jumping around the brands today. And a Sedona Lace FB05. I feel like when it comes to bronzers, there's 2 different kind of options that you have. The Hoola bronzer by Benefit, and I absolutely love it. I feel like it looks good on everyone, honestly, because I've used this in the middle of the summer when I am super, super tan, and I've used it now, and obviously I am ghostly. Another one of my favorites is MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in shade Dark. This is really just like a powder for your face, but if you get a dark shade, then you can use it as a contour shade. And so this is obviously a lot warmer. And today I am going to be a princess, because I have been lately, and use both of them. Boop. So I'm going to start by dipping my brush into both bronzers, like I said, just because I feel like it warms it up a tiny bit, but not too much. And then I'm going to tap it off a little bit just so it doesn't get too intense at first, because you can always add more. It's a lot harder to take it away. So then we're going to follow this line from the corner of our mouth to the top of our ear. This is going to be the natural line of where right under that cheekbone is going to be, where you want to create your shadow. And you want to place your brush at the furthest point, like back to your ear, because if you start placing it on your cheekbone, you're going to look retarded. So we want to place it back here and blend forward. So I'm just going to look at this, make a funny face. All right, so you guys can see that looks a lot more intense on camera than it really is. But I want you guys to see what our starting point looks like. So then we're just going to take a little bit more, like I said, just tap some off, and we're going to turn our brush, start kind of turning our brush the other direction. So we're kind of like scooping out that cheekbone. Alright, so now I'm going to take our other brush, this Sedona Lace brush, and I'm going to just blend it out as much as I can. And when you're blending, always remember to blend up. We don't want anything dark below here. You always want it to be dark there, and I like it to be darkest around here. Like, even if you go up a little bit onto your temples, you just feel it out. Like, you'll feel where your cheekbone is, and you want to carve underneath that out. So we're not going to want to stop here because it's going to look really strange to just have two dark places on your face. Just like when you highlight, you want to highlight more than just underneath your eyes to even it out. You want to do the same with your shadows. So I'm going to take a little bit of both bronzers yet again and place it at the corners of my forehead. If you have a smaller forehead, you do not want to do this. You can place it more towards the sides because that way you're giving it a more longer shape versus, you know, making it even smaller. And if you have a larger forehead, then you do this same thing. If you have a softer jawline, like I don't have the most pronounced jawline, but I don't really care that much about it, but you can put some a little bit underneath your chin just to create a little bit more of a jawline. And now you can take a smaller brush. I'm going to use an E40 by Sigma and get a little bit of that bronzer, and you can put it right underneath your lip right here. I'm sure my faces are great for this video. And that is going to give you a little bit of a pout. It's just going to make your lips look a little bit fuller. And if you want to straighten out your nose a little bit, like I definitely do, we can follow the sides of our nose. Again, I'm not a huge fan of doing this super intense, but a little goes a long way. So now we're going to move on to blush, and we're going to use the blush that I have been obsessing over lately. I don't know why, I've had it forever, but lately I've just been going crazy over it, and that is MAC's Margin right here. So I'm going to go in with a MAC 129 short handle blush brush, and this is going to go on the apples of our cheeks. So like kind of like when you smile and you have these little apples of your cheeks, it's going to go right along there. So I'm just lightly going in circular motions. Why am I always sticking my tongue out? Is that a thing now? To just blend it into that bronzer. So today I'm going to be using my tried and true favorite highlighter for right now, which is Hourglass's Ambient Lighting Powder and Luminous Light. So now I'm going to place this right on the top of that blush. And I really have this great blemish here, so I shouldn't be highlighting, but that's why we're here. So you can bring it up a little bit further if you want. Depends on how glowy you like to be. And that completes our look. And one more thing I wanted to say, if you feel like you ever get messy or make any mistakes on your bronzer, you can take your foundation brush with no additional foundation really needed because we know there's some stored up in there, and just take it and kind of clean up those lines a little bit if you're wanting it to be even more intense, because I got a little carried away today, but you know, I just wanted you guys to see everything. I don't know, what have I been doing? Oh, becoming a grown-up. I have a full-time job. I work at a pharmacy, and 2 of our girls are out, and all of us were just working every hour of the day, and it was just crazy. And I remember coming home and thinking, like, how did these people dedicate their lives to YouTube? Like, they must be getting paid bank, because I do not have time to go home and sit in front of these hot lights after I just talked to people of Vastel. So I have been doing that, and I have been, what else important happened? Oh, planning a wedding because I got engaged. But one of my biggest resolutions this year was to pay more attention to my blog, not only in making videos, but updating my blog to talk about shoes and clothes and makeup and all things girly and all things that I love. Anyways, thank you guys so much, as always, for taking the time to watch this. I hope that you learned something. I'm sorry that this is like way more intense than I usually would do, but no, I'm not sorry. Thank you again. If you want to keep up with my life, like who wouldn't, you can follow me on Instagram at Sneaky Louise, or subscribe to my channel here and I will keep you updated. I really hope that I am back soon. Thank you so much for all of your support. I love you. Bye. And Mom, you can't talk. You can't talk. I can't talk. I'm filming.